Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, our correctional system is in a stage of severe crisis. In the previous months, our country has been plagued by news highlighting deplorable conditions of our persons deprived of liberty and the challenges faced by our jail and prisons officers every day. Prison overcrowding has remained an ongoing, persistent issue. According to the mid-year statistics provided by the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology and the Bureau of Corrections, our prisons, meant for 12,251 PDLs, now house 51,561 individuals. Ang National Bilibid Prisons po ay ginawa para sa 6,435 PDLs lamang. Pero sa kasalukuyan at sa kasamaang palad, nagsisiksikan po ang mahigit 30,000 PDLs doon. Ganito rin ang sitwasyon ng mga pasilidad ng BJMP na sa kasalukuyan ay may congestion rate na 358%. The gravity of this situation was highlighted by Bucor General Chief Gregorio Catapang himself, who shared that the congestion within the Bilibid has reached such dire levels that they have been compelled to resort to housing PDLs within the confines of the facility's open-air basketball court. Meanwhile, in city jails, lack of adequate space has forced inmates to adopt an orthodox sleeping arrangement such as rotating shifts, sleeping on the steps of staircases, or even making improvised hammocks. Malnutrition is also a concerning issue. The allocated daily budget for each inmate meal is 70 pesos, while their daily medical allowance is at 15 pesos. As we know, this is insufficient to provide the nutritional requirements of our PDLs. Ano na nga lamang ang nutrisyon na makukuha mo sa 70 pesos para sa almusal, tanghalian, at hapunan? PDL health is public health. Alam po ba ninyo na sa buong bansa, mayroon lamang tayong 16 na medical officers at 3 psychiatrists? Distinguished colleagues, we must bear in mind that no less than the 1987 Constitution prohibits the use of substandard and inadequate penal facilities under subhuman conditions. We are also a signatory to the United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for Treatment of Prisoners, more familiarly known as the Nelson Mandela Rules. This provides us that upon imprisonment of any individual, that it becomes duty of the state to safeguard his or her health and overall welfare. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the appalling state of our prison and jail system has spawned a multitude of problems and corrupt practices. It has compelled certain prisons authorities to adopt unconventional measures, such as permitting PDLs to place online food orders or allowing relatives to transfer money to them through e-wallets or the GCash system. Such practices in turn have been exploited by corrupt jail guards who, according to Justice Secretary Boying Rimulya, take 20% cut for every peso sent to the inmate. Maaring maliit lang nga mang 20%, mga kababayan, pero kung titignan natin ang bilang ng mga PDL sa Bilibid, makikita natin naging lucrative business na para sa ating mga corrupt na opisyal. It is easy to blame prison officials for continuing deterioration of our correctional institution, but they themselves are fighting hard to survive in a fragmented system riddled with red tape, a system that lacks manpower and resources to effectively manage PDLs and provide them humane living condition. As a former Assistant Secretary of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, I was provided with a bird's-eye view of the problems we face in this respect. The DILG exercises supervision over the BJMP, which in turn oversees the operation of the country's district, municipal, and city jails. Provincial jails are another matter, as these are under the supervision of the provincial governments. The Bucor, for its part, is under the DOJ. Dito pa lamang po ay makikita na natin ang pagkawatak-watak ng pamamahala ng mga PDL sa ating mga bilangguan. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, our nation's correctional facilities, which are meant to be places for rehabilitation and transformation, have instead become breeding grounds for despair and recidivism. Therefore, distinguished colleagues, I ask this Congress to give primacy to measures that extend a hand of reform and redemption to our countrymen who deserve a second chance. After all, the current administration, under the leadership of our President, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., is steering towards a bagong Pilipinas. As we know, building this new society requires transformative mindset in governance, for indeed we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to create them. To make real progress, we must change our mindset towards enabling good governance. Sabi ko nga po sa ating mga kaibigan sa public service, if we are to make something viral, let us make good governance viral. Our bagong Pilipinas should ensure that no one is left behind, including persons deprived of liberty. We should give them a genuine chance to rebuild their lives by supporting measures that will institute reforms in our correctional system. We show through concrete action the strong commitment of the House of the People to the very principles of justice, compassion, and the belief in the potential of the individual to transform his life for the better. Diyos mabalos at marahay na hapon sa Indogabos.